Side control number 1, okay? I want to control his hips and his head, always looking to control both ends of the lever, right? The spine is the main structure of the human body. The spine finishes inside our skull, so if I hold his head, I have control of one end of the lever. The other end of the spine is our tailbone that finishes inside our hips. So it's like holding a stick by both ends. That's the best way to hold a stick, other than have two hands in the middle or one on one end, another one somewhere. If I have both ends secured, that's the optimal control, right? So same applies for side control. My knee is gonna touch his hip to avoid his hips moving sideways. And this other knee are gonna go under his armpit to control his shoulder, okay? The head, the end of the lever is very close to the shoulder, okay? So the shoulder has another line that goes perpendicular to the spine. So if I can't control the head and I can control the shoulders, this is good enough as well, right? So if I can control the head and the shoulders, is even better. So we cradle the head, I have control of one end of the lever, my knee is touching his hip, avoiding lateral movement, right? And on the far side, I get my underhook, and I go palm to palm on him, and I'm gonna apply shoulder pressure, trying to force his head to look away from us. Remember that every time I misalign the head with the spine, we lose our strength. Okay, if you look straight ahead, we are very strong here. But once your head's misaligned, we kind of lose our strength. So that's what I'm trying to do. On top of that, the way to escape from side control is by facing me, not facing away. So I'm doing exactly the opposite with my shoulder pressure, is forcing him to face away from me. And I'm always looking to have this underhook on the far side, avoid doing the other way, because here I start exposing my back. Zibi can go and start attacking my back. Go, that's it. Slide his head under, that's it. He's right on my back, okay? So that's what the underhook does, it prevents the back take. So that's the side control number 1. Head control, underhook. Here I can have a palm to palm with my thumb, that's called a gable grip. I can use a palm to palm thumbless, or I can even go wrist to wrist, and I hold my wrist right here. The further I move, tighter it gets for him, and more shoulder pressure as well. Also, I like to have this elbow open that way, and my head on the ground if possible, as low as possible. If Zibi tries to flip me over that way, I can use my head as a post. My elbow wide is gonna be easier than if my elbow is stuck and he tries to flip, I go straight on my shoulder. Go there, Zibi. And then he flips me over, okay? So if I manage to have these elbows nice and wide, it's gonna be a lot harder for him to flip me over. Here. And on top of that, I still can use my head. Go there, Zibi. Head on the ground, okay? So I'm here, I'm pinning him. It's an upper body pin. My center line, always crossing his center line. Okay, my head's to the same side as my hips. I don't have the same control. And remember that's about controlling the hips. There's nothing stopping his hips from moving away from me, okay? However, if my knee is touching his hip here on the near side, every time he moves, I follow. So that means that he's not really moving because I'm connected to him. Side control number 2 now. I'm gonna let go of the head. I'm gonna slide this hand down, hold behind the triceps, lift that up, and I'm pretty much shelving his arm onto my hip. And now I'm gonna switch my legs facing that way. I sit on the mat, okay? So now my rib cage is over his chest. I still have the underhook over the far side, okay? My head, try to keep your head low, okay? If my head's up, Zibi can start pushing. He uses his leg to hook my head, and he might be able to flip me over. If I keep my head down, try to do the same now, Zibi. Okay, very difficult, okay? Zibi wants to escape. He wants to bring his head off the mat, his back off the mat, sorry. So by holding the triceps and lifting up, Try to bring your back off the mat now. He only gonna be able to do that if you can come up on the elbow. Right? So by taking this arm up, and I like to put my knee under the shoulder. Right here, head down. Try to move now deep. Right? That become a very difficult thing. So again, side control number 1. Lift the triceps. Transition to side control number 2. Okay, that's a very strong pin, chest to chest on your partner all the time. Now side control number 3. Okay. Side control number 3 is the same as the side control 2, but facing the legs. Okay, so my leg in the same configuration here, but I'm gonna face his legs now. So this arm that's behind the triceps, on side control 1, I'm holding the head. I wanna go over the head right here, and this I wanna try to grab any material I can get. If I can reach the belt, that's perfect. And I'm just gonna change my legs to the opposite side, and I have my rib cage over his chest, and I'm blocking his view. Okay, so he can't see anything that's happening over here. My hand is gonna try to grab on the far pants on the outside of his knee, and the near side knee, I just put the tip of my knee over his near side hip. Okay, try to move now, Dibi. Alright, so here I have head and shoulder control and hip control as well, and I still assist him with my hand on the far side of his leg. Keep moving, Dibi. Alright, I can stay here all day. It's gonna be very difficult to escape. Okay, just so you guys know, this there's 3 different variations. I could be still have the cross face controlling the head, or I could be under his arm. Okay, but for the start, as a beginner, this is the safest option. Okay, here I have to make sure I keep the shoulder pressure. Sometimes I release the shoulder pressure, he escapes. And if I go under the arm, he can start framing behind my back, and just frame push, yeah, and now I end up exposing my back. Just put your elbow behind my back here. Yeah, and now pretty much I expose my back. Okay, so the safest one, especially for the start as a beginner, because you're gonna miss a lot of details, is actually have the arm on this quadrant here, between the head and the shoulder. Grab the belt over there. Side control number 3. Quick review: side control 1, 2, and 3. And the 4th control that we've seen on Monday was the north-south. Okay, so the north-south, as the name says, north-south. Okay, so the north-south, I'm not worried about controlling the head, but I'm worried about pinning his hips down. Okay, the north-south is different than the side control. Side control, my center line is always crossing center line. North-south, my center line is in line with the center line. Maybe it's slightly crossing, but pretty much in line. Okay, and my goal is pinning his hips. I don't need to worry about the head. For side control, you always have to have control over the head / shoulders. Okay, north-south, I don't need to control the head, I need to control the hips. All the focus goes to the hips. Okay, so my arms, I can either have both arms inside, grab the pants, and I'm gonna use my head right here on his lower stomach, on my toes, and I can hold the tripod. So I'm pinning his hips down. Okay, holding both pants, or I can use I call the hip staple. When my hand goes to the mat, so I'm gonna staple my shoulder and my hand on the other side of the hip on the mat as well. So I put this staple here. Try to move on hips now. This. Right. Here he can move. Here same thing. Keep moving, Zippy. Alright, so I'm here, always controlling both sides of his hips and pushing his hip down towards the mat. My arms can be on the inside of his arms, one in or one out. What I cannot accept is having both arms on the outside. If I have both arms on the outside, I give frames to Zibi, and he can start pushing me away. Right, so one in, one out's fine. Both in's fine. Just both outs, it's not gonna work, he's gonna be able to escape. What I want you guys to do now is this drill here. And side control number 1, number 2, north-south, number 3 to the other side. Back to number 2, north-south, number 3 on the other side. So I went all the way around and back, and once I come back, I hold my toes, my hand goes in between my legs, I hold my pinky toe, I bring my toes towards my chest, and I just shoulder, I go back to the other side. If you're watching this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.